All right, thank you, Jenny. Have you enjoyed those different ways of praying this month? Yeah, for sure. That's cool. I don't know, Jenny, did you get your hug? No, you really look like you were on the outside of the. So, all right, so hug Jenny after service. I'm sure she's good to go. All right. So we're into our last message on the Circle Maker. Just a recap of the Circle Maker, what that is, what it's about. Jewish folklore about a man named Honi, and he was a strong prayer. And the people came to him during a drought and they said, hey, we need rain. Can you help us with that? Would you pray for us? And he said, sure, let's go do that. So he went to the front of the city and everybody was watching him. He took his big staff and he drew a circle on the ground and he stayed right inside of it. And he was like, and he prayed very boldly, God, I'm not leaving this circle until it rains for us. So it started raining. And people witnessed this and saw this. And it was nice. It was a shower, of rain. But then he continued to pray. He said, thank you for the rain, but I'm talking about a rain that will quench our thirst, that will fill our wells, our cisterns, and it will sustain us. So it rained harder, much like it did on Friday and Saturday, tomorrow, and the next day. It rained hard. And then, but he stayed in the circle because he wasn't done praying yet. And then he prayed one more time. He said, all right, God, thank you for the rain. Thank you for sustaining us. But now I'm praying for your blessing, for your favor on these people and on this city. And that was the extent of the prayer. But we learned quite a bit about praying specifically, about persistence in prayer, about not giving up. Praying the Jericho wall, we talked about that, how God said, here's Jericho, but I need you to do 7 times around, and all that craziness. And then God delivered, and to not give up on our prayers. So tonight we're going to talk about praying kind of in the future, praying long term, kind of praying forward might be a good idea for it. So I want to kind of get your minds in this future mode here. And so a simple question here, who knows what the future will hold? Who's got to be on that? You do? Or God? Are you pointing up? Okay. So we don't hear, right? What's our best, what is something we might plan for that's in the future?
Vacation.
A vacation. Yes.
We hope that we continue to grow older.
We hope that we continue to grow older. So you're praying for longevity, right? What else do you plan for? Retirement.
Building a family.
Building family. Yeah, good stuff. Okay. What's that?
Eternity.
Preparing for eternity.
Yeah.
When does that happen?
At the end.
At the end. Good answer. Good answer. I know we're starting to plan our summer vacation. Now, I don't know the details, but we know when and where we're going. So, but as far as the details of the future, we don't know that. We're planning Mason's graduation party. Oh, right? Remember when he was this big when I was graduating? Yes? Oh, you might plan for emergency weather and stuff like that. Yeah, good. All right, well, you see, predicting the future has always been something that's kind of interested us, kind of captivated us. Do you remember this show here? Jacksons. Where are the flying cars, people? That's the biggest disappointment, right? They just built. So this is all about the future and living out there. So at times, people have tried to predict the future. So I want to share just a couple of these with you. Sometimes they were close, sometimes they were way off. And then so these first couple are from before, in the past here. So the first one, Nikola Tesla. So this is in 1909. This was his prediction, 1909. It will soon be possible to transmit wireless messages all over the world so simply that any individual can own and operate his own apparatus. 1909. Now what's he talking about? The cell phone, right? And that didn't even happen until the late 80s, early 90s, right? Okay, so not bad there. Next one. Who's this? Roger Ebert said in 1987, I don't think of 1987 as long ago. First of all, because I graduated in 88, so it can't be that long ago. We're coming up on our 30th anniversary. Give me a break. Disappointed in this. All right. We will have high-definition, widescreen TV sets and a push-button dialing system to order the movie you want at the time you want it. What is that? Netflix, right? Or any iMovie, all that online ordering stuff. So he said that in '87. And this last one, again, this is in the past, in 1993. Again, many years ago, even though it doesn't seem like it. AT&T had this imaginative "You Will" campaign on TV. In dozens of TV commercials, the company asked viewers, "Have you ever?" And then they named some crazy feat of technology that could not be accomplished at that time, like sending a fax from the beach. Their campaign showed images that looked exactly like the tablets we have 20 years later. All right, so that was their forward into in the future here. Now, these people who did this, the term that they are is called the futurist. Have you ever heard of that term? Futurist. And they look at topics and trends and data, and they kind of try to predict what's going to happen in the future. So these are people in the past. Now, the next several ones I want to show you are futurists of today, talking about the future. Okay? So let's look at these. In the next 10 years, we will see the gradual transition from an internet to a brain net, in which thoughts, emotions, feelings, and memories might be transmitted instantly across the planet. Who is excited for that? Zach is excited. So I've read up a little bit about this. So they're talking like when you watch a movie, they're going to be able to transmit the feeling of happiness to you during the happy scene. Able to transmit the feeling of sadness during the crying scene. Does that creep anybody else, or is it just me? Yeah. So next 10 years, so that's one. But that's our guess. We don't know that, just what they're guessing. All right, what's the next one? By 2025, 3D printers will print clothing at very low cost. I can see that happening. I've already seen 3D printers printing out houses at a very low cost. So using cement, it's really good thing. So I can see that happening. All right, next one. It says we will spend considerable time in virtual and augmented realities, allowing us to visit with each other even if hundreds of miles apart. So what's that, a hologram, right? The hologram. I could see that moving that way very quickly. Or you put on one of those headsets and you're sitting in the room with the person, even though you're not, physically beside each other. I can definitely see them. I have an app now that shows dinosaurs. It's called augmented reality. So it uses my camera on my phone, but then it'll put dinosaurs that aren't really there, but just like right there. It's kind of fun. Yeah, just when I'm trying to get a handle on reality, we throw all this other stuff in. All right, artificial intelligence becomes both as smart as and smarter than humans. Humans and robots merge. Not physically, they're working together, okay? Digitally and physically. All right, to treat patients who may be around the world. Robo-surgeons will operate remotely on patients. Robo-docs will deliver babies and treat you over the cell phone. And I heard earlier that the cell phone thing is already happening, that they can treat you over the cell phone. Even in the surgery, the doctors will be working robots for the surgeries. So was that done?
Not my doctor.
But they said, and they kind of explained it like instead of a big long incision, now the robots can be very, very particular as to where they go in and how they do it. So looking forward to the future. You see, it's hard to predict the future, but it's not hard to pray for the future. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, is how we pray for the future. A lot of times we're kind of stuck in the here and the now in our prayers and not really looking down the road. So let's get this in your head here, praying for the future. What about yourself, your family, your church, your nation? How is it that we might be able to pray for the future? And I'm not talking next week. I'm talking like 10 years, 20 years, maybe even after you're gone. That type of prayer. What would your prayer for our nation be? What would your prayer for your family be in 30 years? Something to think about. You see, what are those things that we can pray for now that will shape the future? And if you think about it like at home, you're in your yard, when you plant a tree, a little sapling of a tree, is that going to be ready next week for the shade? No, right? It's going to be ready in a month for the shade? No. It's going to take years, 20 years, 30 years, before that like totally grows and creates the shade that you want. That's kind of what we're talking about is what are those prayer things we can start now that are actually going to shape our future. I'm going to share a quick story here about how I prayed for Jennifer. I always pray for Jennifer. She prays for me. I probably need it more than she does, but you know, we pray for each other. But when I was at Otterbein College, and I remember the exact prayer, the exact time, I dated on and off a couple different people, but it's kind of like done with that dating scene, right? Kind of ready to go big or go home, right? And so I prayed a very specific prayer. And I don't know why this specific, but this is what the prayer was. God, send me somebody who's naturally beautiful and enjoys wearing sweatpants. That's it. Those two requirements is all we needed to meet. So Jennifer had been stalking me for quite a while. So I went to meet her, or we said, we started being interested in each other. And I said that prayer, and it was like 2 or 3 days later that I went to go hang out with her. And you know what? Opened up the door to say hi to her, and guess what she's wearing? Sweatpants. You're beautiful, right? I'm like, all right. And then I look at this picture and think, boy, I'm blessed. Thank you. Pray for Jennifer. Praying for the kids now, right? If you got kids, pray for them. Mason's starting college. So I'm starting, now after reading this, I'm like, in 4 years, I want to pray for Mason 4 years from now. Not now. Well, now, is that right? But also in 4 years, what's his job going to be? What's his security going to be? What's his relationship going to be that we begin praying for? And as Riley and Grace get into high school years and stuff like that, right? So taking this idea of prayer into the future, we're going to look at Daniel chapter 10, just 2 verses here, 12 and 13. If you got your Bible, crack it open. If you got your device, go ahead and bring it up. I'll give you a little background here real quick on Daniel. Daniel did not have an easy life, but he was very devoted in prayer to his life. I'll go ahead and go back to there, Ben, real quick before I get into this. Yeah, and he, as a kid, as a youngster, he was captured by the enemy, and like to the point of chains and stuff around his neck and around his hands, and that was his life growing up. And then his prayer life was so strong. That's actually what landed him in the lions den, because some people didn't like that he prayed so much, and so they made a law saying you can't pray or else we'll feed you to the lions. So that's how he ended up in there. But these two verses here, we're going to talk about a different time where he was kind of under siege, so to speak, and God comes and talks to him, and you get a glimpse of his prayer life. So Daniel 10, verses 12 and 13. So God starts it off with, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. We hear that so much in there. Do not be afraid, Daniel. Since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. So that just sets it right there. The first day that you began praying, I have come. I've heard you, and I have come in response for you. We're talking like a period of 70 years of prayer here. It's a long, dedicated time. But that's what Daniel was known about his prayer. Now it says, but the prince of the Persian kingdom resisted me 21 days. Hold right there. Oh, you're good. The prince of the Persian kingdom. And so this is God talking to Daniel. So we're talking about the devil here. The prince of the Persian kingdom, talking about this battle with the devil, and God's kind of explaining to Daniel what's going on here. Okay, now we go on. And then it said, then Michael, one of the chief princes, Michael the angel, came to help me because I was detained there with the king of Persia. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to your people in the future. For the vision concerns a time yet to come. And so God shared with him about this praying that Daniel has been doing that is in the future. And he shares that moment with him. If you want to read more about it, that's where you pick it up right there. But we see, we begin to get a glimpse of the prayer life that Daniel had. So much so that God comes to him and explains and talks to him about it. You see, it's hard for us, I think, sometimes to pray for the future when we have everything we need right here in the Bible. Right? We have this book, the Bible, in front of us, and we have a bad day, and we flip it open to a couple passages, we read it, oh, we feel better. We close it, we set it aside. Right? But when we talk about praying for the future, so that's kind of a different mindset for us. Instead of praying for the right now, what's up ahead of us, what's moving. You see, we live in a culture that overvalues that 15 minutes of fame. Have you heard of that? Everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame. And undervalues lifelong faithfulness, right? How about this young lady here? I don't know. She has made the rounds right now on Twitter and Facebook and the internet, Snapchat. She was on Dr. Phil. Was she 14? Oh my God, 15?
She was
14.
like 13, 12,
Even
13. She was young.
Yeah, very young.
Just turned 14.
She could, the most disrespectful child you could imagine, times 10, was this one right here. On the show, now I don't know her personally, but on the show, that's how she came off. And Dr. Phil was trying to work with me, and I think somebody, I don't know, threatened her or called her a pumpkin. And so this is what she said, and this is what's making the internet. Cash me outside. How about that? I think she meant catch me outside. How about that? All right? But this girl is set to become a millionaire within the next month. Have you read this story? No. Because everybody is tweeting about her. Everybody wants her now on their show to talk to her, and she's getting endorsements, and she's getting her own reality show because of this. Cash me outside. How about that? You see, we live in a culture that values that. So when we look at our prayer life, we kind of see, well, oh, no wonder I'm kind of stuck in this prayer for today, not for 20 years down the road idea. I'm going to share a baseball clip here with you. World Baseball Cup, right? I think it just happened about a month ago. Opening day's tomorrow, I think. That's exciting news. But this clip, this guy comes up and he hits the ball, and he makes a single, but then what happens afterwards is what I want you to see. So, and this really connects with our prayer. So take a look at this here.
This is an absolute missile to home plate. And then what does he do? He just nonchalantly looks and says, okay, gotcha.
Jurickson Profar was too busy getting the dugout going, and he is out at first base.
He's that close to first base. But you see, when I watched that clip, I thought he was only focused on first base. He wasn't focused on getting all the way around to home plate, was he? He got to first base, and then he stopped and he celebrated first base, and he got tagged out on that. That's what our prayer life. We can't just focus on first base. We got to focus on getting all the way around to home. You see, we got to think beyond our immediate needs when we're praying. A lot of times we pray when it's important and something's happening right now. So instead of praying for that as soon as possible, that ASAP, instead of praying that, I want to encourage you to pray for as long as it takes. Instead of the right now and I've got a job tomorrow and I need to make sure I nail this interview, which is all very good things. but pray for as long as it takes. Begin praying now for something that maybe you don't even know what's going to happen, but 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, and sustain that and pray it forward. So instead of the ASAP, let's go ALAT. Now, if we pray for something, God might make it happen. I put a yikes on that. Because sometimes that might scare us, right? Oh, come on, God, I would love to have this job. I'd love to have this job. We're praying for it, and it's in the future. We're pushing forward with it. And then it comes, we get the phone call. Oh, could you come in for an interview? I don't know about that, No, that's exactly what it is. God has brought you to that point. You've been praying about it, and you continue to pray about it, and then God's going to deliver on it. You see, if you stop praying before that breakthrough, you just might forfeit that miracle. And we just don't want that to happen. You want to be persistent with your prayers and praying for it and just knowing, praying with the power of God. Much like when he stood in that circle and boldly prayed, hey God, help us out here. Help me out here. So as we look back at Daniel and his little story, two things I want to point out here. Prayer was part of the rhythm and routine of his life. So again, I hope this message series has kind of sparked something in you, or made prayer a little bit more different in you, or the way we prayed around here together, something that has kind of become more of a rhythm and routine than maybe it was. Prayer for Daniel was his life, and his life was a prayer. People could see that in him. He was just covered in prayer, and the power of prayer was Daniel's. That's what he tapped into. Because when we look at Daniel's life, that's when it says David, how does Daniel, a prisoner of war, become prime minister of the country that took him captive in the first place? We talk about the power of prayer, right? That's God working in his life. He was taken as a youngster, became prime minister of that country. Now that's God. Now that's the power of prayer. All right, would you head to your prayer journal with me, please? If you don't have a prayer journal, it's this little book here. There's a lot of blank ones around the tables. It's yours. Take it. Keep it with you. Write down your prayers. Write down when prayers are answered. Write down maybe you're still waiting on those prayers. And it's pretty easy. I know we already had prayer time, but we're going to do it again. How about that? Catch me outside. Like that, Jake? No? Okay. I'll stop. If Jake says no, I gotta stop. All right. So our prayer journal, something even to think about here, doing this question. What is something you can pray for that you know you'll never physically see? Something maybe in your life, in your relationship, even here at church. 30 years down the road, 40 years down the road. What is something that we can begin praying forward for? All right, so if you join me in your prayer journal, I got a couple things I'll put on there. And then while we're adding these, so we'll think and see if we want to add anything else to this idea of praying forward, okay? So I put, and Jenny already mentioned this, praying for the church, praying forward for that. What's the church going to look like in 10, 20 years? Pray for that. How many hundreds, thousands of people will be attending? What will the facility look like? Where will it be? How's God going to use our church here? I have your family and your friends. We can pray forward for all of that. Both of those. Just praying for people. I put just people in general. The new people that aren't involved in integrated in New Way yet. People that don't know Jesus yet. We can pray for those people. That God is already working. Somebody mentioned the environment in the morning service. Our government, our future president, somebody mentioned. Future generations, just the people. The saying is, we're always a generation away of not knowing Christ. If we don't share with the next generation, it'll be gone. All right, how about anything else? Praying for the future. Praying forward. The return of Jesus people dealing with issues to know easily, readily where to go for help. What's that? A lot of people struggling, they don't know where to go to begin to get help. Okay. Any others? For the future in general. What about it? Which way you want to go with that? Yeah? Just put it all on the plate there, huh? Okay, exactly. There might be other stuff you're going to personally put down on your list. Think of family, think of friends, think of yourself as you pray for it. And then don't just make this today the only day you do this for praying for it. Just like Daniel, who prayed for 70 years and prayed for it. And this one, I think, as we go through the week, we're going to think about this and then start to, like, okay, wait, this one just slipped in my head. I got to write this down. This one came with me too, so keep that together. All right, so we've got a list here in front of us. Now let's go to prayer and we'll wrap up tonight's service. Dear God, we thank you for this time. Thank you for the story of Daniel. Thank you for what a devotion and a commitment to prayer and life, connection with you. Lord, help that prayer life be in us. Help that to make sure we're just not praying for immediate needs. Help us to pray for, and not just for ourselves, for our family, for our friends. God, do and doing that. And sometimes even if we're not exactly sure what that means, we know, God, that you will give us understanding and give us opportunity for that. Lord, we thank you. Thank you so much for the work that you do through us right here at Green Way. We're excited for this time coming up in Easter. Excited to pray for these empty chairs that will be filled with people. And God, we pray that a time of revelation for people to hear the story and why you sent your Son and the suffering you went through just so we wouldn't have to. Lord, we lift that up. We lift up our health concerns. We pray that for God. We can start praying right now for a cure to cancer, so that another generation won't have to deal with that. Lord, that's a big prayer. That affects a lot of us. God, we've lifted up several others. And we have more to add to this list. Lord, help us keep this become a part of us. Pray specifically. Don't give up. We know, God, that we are your kids. We are your family. And that you want to take care of us. Lord, we pray for that change in not only our heart, but those around us, and our family members, and our workers, people that work with us, our colleagues, people we just pass by every day, don't even know who they are. We ask that you work in their lives. Lord, be with us this week. Lead us, teach us, would you guide us in your will, so that others may come to know you. In the name of Jesus, we always do. Amen.